Guys, welcome back. This is actually my second time recording this bad boy because the first time I did it, the recording came out really blurry. I mean, this map in on itself, it just feels very the tint is really green. You know what I mean? It just feels really green, right? It's and maybe that's what contributes to the blurriness. Not sure, but it is a very blurry map. Well, on the videos it appears so anyway, but it might have been my OBS. Now, what is this? This is my first proper 1v1. Now, I did play a 1v1 game like in the first, I don't know, month, couple of weeks of me playing bar. You know, roughly about 6 odd months ago, or whenever it was. But this is my first proper 1v1. And I thought, you know what? With all the accumulated experience that I've had in team games, I know it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate well. I think I might do okay, right? You know, there's certain fundamentals like get that early harassment in there, try and destabilize your enemy's economy, right? All that good stuff, and the aggression. You know, if you keep up solid aggression, then you can't do too bad. Now, I think the problem for me is that when I micro in like these ticks, right, and or other units that I can get into my enemy's base, I neglect my base significantly, like severely. You know, it's almost like a yeah, I don't, really struggle to be able to do the micro and the macro at the same time. So I picked up from we can see player view, right? So I picked up that okay, they got an LLT there. I don't want to get into the way of it, so I'm just going around the kill radius and just trying to get light structures that I know I can absolutely kill. I don't want to use these ticks to be sitting in one spot for too long, trying to I don't know, take down this mech whilst this thing is trying to blast at me. One thing to keep in mind is LLTs, they can't shoot over any structure that's taller than them. Yeah, so you can hide units behind things like windmills, I believe, even solar collectors, if I'm not mistaken. It's a sign to keep in mind. Now, I've kept these here because look, they're not under any duress. You know, he's not necessarily coming out to attack them. He must know that I'm still about, right? Because even buildings give you line of sight. I've got some pawns that are built out. I want to take them. I want to take these guys around, yeah, and see if I can still harass this guy. He's got his comm here. He's obviously waiting to you know, for me to move these up, and he can just laser them. Probably looking to bodyguard his constructor as well. Okay, he wants to get these mexes, but he doesn't want to lose his units in doing so. What's his away? You know, I'm gonna send it. As they say, right? When the cat's away, the mice come out to play. This LOT is right up in there, and I should have focused fire on this thing and just gotten rid of it. Interestingly enough, this LOT should have killed this pawn. Like, easy. But he was taking a good few shots. And is that because he was hitting the tree half the time? Don't know. I felt really happy with killing this thing. Yeah, I felt as though, okay, that's going to really annoy him. He's lost these two mech spots, right? But he has captured this, which means he might have capped off the other three on the northern side. Don't want to let him up. Look, I've got 2 ticks in there, still giving me great vision. So I'm keeping it at player view so you can see what I was seeing, right? And while I was making these plays, I can see. Well, I don't think I paid attention, because if I did, I should have killed off. I noticed this being built, and I feel like maybe I should have moved these around anti-clockwise, and maybe I should have used them to fight off that LLT. Instead, I decided, look, I don't wanna like lose a chunk of this force to just fighting off that area. It's the main base that I wanted to attack. Really and truly, in my thoughts, it was the lab. That's what I wanted to kill. I noticed he's trying to build a nano. I was like, I can't have that come up, right? Because that thing's just going to be able to just repair everything, reclaim my dead bodies as metal into his economy, which I was worried about. And that's something that you do have to be somewhat conscious of, right? Is you're sending units in there and they're going to be dying right at his doorstep, right? So your enemy is going to get the wreckage. But I felt as though, look, if I could just kill this lab, it's going to be so demoralizing for him. He'll probably just say GG's and that's it. I get the win. That was a bit of my game plan, right? I mean, if you were to look at both of us, besides the experience of the play, our open skills are kind of in the pretty much next to each other. So I felt as though this is a good sort of 1v1 for me. So again, sending in these pawns. So guys, a couple of things here. What do you reckon about this harassment? What can I do better? How can I make this level of besieging even better? Even better than what I'm doing now. And in terms of the negative aspects of it, when you look at my base, I mean, I've not really taken too much advantage. I mean, I've got these mexes there. This thing ain't doing nothing useful, right? I've ignored him. I've not capped off anything in the south. I've not taken the geothermal. My wind is still trying to come up. It feels as though my enemy was able to he ironically he's able to eco up better than I am. But then again, he's on the back foot, right? And I am at his doorstep. I'm supposing one of the things that I could have done is perhaps build another nano where maybe around here, so it's primarily maybe even here, so it's primarily doing the lab, and it can help with the geo and anything that I try to build here in terms of defense or maybe an offensive lab, because this map isn't big, right? So there's not a huge push or a need to have a forward base. I don't know why that was there. I think I might have to play with the settings on bar just to kind of make this a bit more fluid. Right, as you can notice, he's got some defenses, a few more that are built up. And this when I noticed this, right, I got the image of the HLT. I was really worried about this because I'm playing bots. A HLT against bots, a heavy laser tower. This is like the ultimate destroyer. This thing comes up with its green lasers. I'm in a spot of bother. I think what certainly helped bar Mega Man is that he's went into vehicles, right? That's really helps for a couple of things. One, the build power of his constructors. I mean, they can build a lot better than bots, but also that means things like being able to reclaim, right, is a lot quicker than bots, besides the res bar. The repairs, I'm not sure. I'm assuming that they can pump a bit more repair fluid energy into repairing units, but also they're a little bit more stronger. But mostly the attack of units, right? The armament is a lot more than bots. Firepower is a lot more as well. So it's one of those things where if I give him enough headroom, he's just gonna run away with it. He doesn't even need to go up the tier tree. If he can get enough tanks, right, let's say a bunch of missile trucks, maybe even 3 Janisses, right, and he starts attacking me like I'm attacking him, it's game over for me. There's not too much I can do about that. Units are going in. LLT, the HLT's up. This thing is up. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, look, I've got to kill this thing. As much as I would love to kill this lab, with this thing being here, that's not going to be a possibility. Now, this is the game changer. Now, with this up, this laboratory is going to be is going to be significantly protected, because even he must know I'm not really going to be able to go and attack this. I need to attack the laser tower. So at this point, I was kind of stuck, right? If you look at my build, I thought, look, I need to get some quick infantry units to get right up in there, right? If I get enough, I've got some rocket bots. If I can get enough maces, because I need some damage and, quick firing with a bit more accuracy than what rocket bots give me, I can maybe get my pawns right up close and personal against the tower and maybe take it out. But again, well, I really want to know, how can I improve this? Because I felt as though I was putting so much pressure on this guy, and he was doing really well to hold off all of it. It feels like he's got more of the map than I do as well. So yeah, guys, those of you who are a hell of a lot more experienced with Bar, even though I watched a bunch of 1v1s. Shout out to Requiem. His channel that you could get a lot of 1v1 videos on there, right? And it's quite nice, because you see how the pro players, what do they build, how do they build them. And I believe the biggest difference between professional play and like a casual like me is the ability to micro and macro pretty much at the same time, right? The way these guys are able to just move their units around, paying attention to them, but also getting back to the lab, knowing how to eco up, utilizing the commanders a lot better. I can't allow this. I can't allow this. Boom! D gun to the face. That's the only way to resolve situations like this. Now, one of the things that I say in nearly all my videos is, guys, you must build a light laser tower at the very least on your lab. And I have not taken that advice. My own standard of play, right? You see in so many of my videos, one of the early things I build is an LLT. Even if I neglect a radar, at least I have one LLT at my base, right? And I haven't done that in this game whatsoever. So that's something that all I'm relying upon is this commander, really, yeah, to kind of save the day, and that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. And now my energy is completely ruined, because that was my only that was my only source of energy really coming in, besides the resbot that was eating up some of the trees. That was what I was depending on. Now I'm in a really tricky situation. Now he must know that he's just taken out a chunk of my eco, right? Even if he feels as though, okay, he hasn't gotten all of my mexes, even though he pretty much has, he must know that he's gotten all of my energy production. So if I was him, I wouldn't take the foot off the pedal. I'd try and go in for the kill, because one of the other things he would have noticed is I didn't have any defenses. Unlike him, he's got some solid defense on his base, right? Solid defense. So where does one go from here? I know that these guys are still alive. He's not going to be able to kill him on his own. All I can really do is not send units in there one by one, and they just die. I've got to at least ball up a little bit of an army. I've got to get some defenses in, because these guys are going to come back in for a raid when he sends another bunch of troops either this way or from the north. And I've got to get some energy up. Solars is I know a lot of people don't like them. I'm not the biggest fan neither, but at the end of the day, they cost no energy to make. Right? If we were to look, 0 energy to make. Yes, a chunk of metal, but I've got metal at the moment. Where am I sending this geezer? At this point, I figured, look, they're coming in for the kill. There's no point, right? I'm gonna go in there and just start de-gunning everything and die a glorious death. That was my thought process behind that. I noticed, hang on a minute, my man is still alive. He's battered and bruised, but he's still living. These guys should eat up what's remaining on here very quickly. These stouts, and this is what I mean, right? This vehicle alone will get you a win against Armada bots. You make up enough of these, like he's done here. It's enough of a win. Now, whilst he's having fun annihilating my home, because this guy was a liar, I thought, okay, you know what? Is there something I could do over here? I started building some LLTs, and I figured, hang on a minute, they haven't. There's no tanks that are coming for him. Okay, rather than going in there and just de-gunning everything and killing myself, I thought, forget the euthanasia. I'm gonna go up in here and see if I can just snipe the com with this. I know we might take like 50,000 years, but let's say I spot the com right somewhere around here with 2 LLTs and this firing at him. I can maybe do it. This is it's desperate play. But I thought, look, I'm at a loss here anyway. Why not go for it? I've got nothing to lose, and it's not gonna take him long to find me, right? To finish me off. Interestingly enough, I mean, if we were to take off player view, look, he's got units going around the place. Yeah, he's got these guys just kind of there, not doing too much. He's got these guys moving around the map. He's checking everywhere, under every rock and stone. But he hasn't thought about the cliff that's right up his doorstep. So, Mega Man, I was under your nose this whole time. The thing is, this unit, it just takes so much resources. I mean, if we were to look, right, it is so expensive for what you get, especially being tier 1. But it's the only thing that's going to give me enough range to kind of get in, like, shoot into his base. Yeah. So, again, chaps, what do you think of this? What do you think of this sneaky play, right? This sneaky play. Now, again, I feel like I'm in a safe zone. I'm okay over here. All I gotta do is just build this out. Right? I've got a 2.8 mech spot, which ain't bad. It ain't bad at all. I've got good energy coming in now. I am lacking more metal, so one of the things that I'm gonna do very shortly is make e-converters. That's gonna be one way of hoping to get this thing built a lot quicker, right? Because the moment I start firing into his base, he's gonna send a militia. He's gonna send like all the king's horses and all the king's men. They're gonna start besieging this little mountain that I got over here, this little plateau. Highly volatile situation, but desperate times do call for desperate measures, right? And that's what I'm about. Okay, and look, these things, they only give you 1 metal and they take up like 70 energy, and these things only give you what, 20? There's not too much conversion you can do. Lining up some windmills, because I need to take advantage of the excellent wind quality that's here, and then I could maybe think about eating these up. The gauntlet ain't looking too bad now. Minute and a half, and that's it. His base is gonna see a new day. Now, during this time, he's probably still has his tanks just running around the map, hoping to find me. Because the thing with the tier 1 labs, oh boy, this ain't good. He went for the perfect units for all of this. The perfect unit. a whole bunch of gunships. Now,
Commander destroyed.
I went for anti-air, and it was no good. Guys, my first 1v1.
Battle ended.
My first 1v1. What do you guys think? I mean, shout out to Mega Man for not just the rage quitting or anything like that. And I agree with him. Very wishful thinking up in here. But yeah, he was a good sport. He never just threw in the towel with all of the harassment I gave him. And yeah, I enjoyed this. Yeah, guys, let me know, how can I improve on this? Because I wouldn't mind playing a few more 1v1s actually. It was quite an enjoyable process. Right, guys, I hope you liked the video, and yeah, I shall catch you in the next one. Peace.